Well, good morning. Hey, I'm on the highest part of my property by the paved road on the high side. I'm gonna do a quick walk as we go to the terrace because I think the terrace is what a lot of people are interested in, which is my food forest. But we're just gonna follow the water as we go to the terrace. But real quick, on the high side here, Mustang grapes along the fence. When I was making wine, I took the pulp from the wine, threw them just randomly across the fence here a few years ago, and it ended up taking off and planting, which was kind of cool. But I'm real excited about native blackberries. I don't know what they're called, dewberries or something. Anyway, I got a patch here. I've been waiting years and years. I mean, they get established and the deer will eat them before they can really take off. But I did see these about a week ago blooming. So I think I got a good chance of getting some native blackberries this year. Planted a Pakistani mulberry. Anyway, we're just going to follow the water above the swale. Years ago, I'd planted trees and added some pomegranates this year. Anyway, this swale right here is the first water retention I did on my land that I can remember. Ended up digging it, then making it bigger, and then making it bigger, and then ended up filling it in with mulch and then putting horse manure in it. So part of my plan is dig the swales, fill them with the mulch. It'll keep the mosquitoes and stuff out of it because there's no real standing water. Now I do have, this is my depth gauge. I didn't put the mulch here, so I got this little area where I can see that yes, this does have water in it. And I planted the berm side with vetiver. It's just now coming out of hibernation. Vetiver is an amazing plant. I mean, it's got, if you plant them 8-9 inches apart, you're going to do water retention underground. Most people think above ground, they don't think about underground, but the roots are so massive. If you plant them 8-9 inches apart, roots are going to go down 12 feet, and it's such a fibrous blockage down in the ground that it's actually going to stop the underflow water, slow it down. So vetiver, I mean, in theory, I think you could plant vetiver with no swale and you're going to get a similar result of just slowing water down underground. It is going to slow it above ground too because it's dense. I mean, it's like a big pampas grass and it'll slow it. Anyway, so the water's flowing down here. Here is my second swale, which is the first one I was filling with wood chips, and you can see it's almost gone. And we kind of had to do some digging. We had some issues over here with water, but anyway, you can see where we're kind of directing the water through here to this well. So this well catches just the water coming down. This one just catches the water from here to here and redirects it this way. And then past that are my worm towers. I mean, I think it's about, I drilled about 15 post holes in here. Once we get past this well here, there was very little topsoil. I mean, almost none. It looked like the road just in front of me, just beigey clay mixed with limestone. Anyway, I did, I spread compost that I make here on site. Anyway, I drilled 15 post holes in here, like 9-inch diameter, about 3 to 4 foot deep. And I was filling it with whatever I had. Kitchen scraps. We harvested turkeys, put all the turkey parts in there, that we didn't keep. So I created these lush, deep holes of good topsoil once it all composted out. And I think you can tell by, and also spread some compost. What happened, the reason I don't do the worm towers anymore is they create dimples. I mean, as you're filling it up, the holes cave in and sink, and I was real concerned about my horses because this is one of their paddocks. So that's the reason I stopped. But besides that, I thought it was a pretty good idea. But on a bigger scale, I'm doing it with the swales. I mean, rather than a bunch of holes, I've got a big trench, and then when I can get, the free mulch filling in, it kind of does the same thing. Anyway, the reason the grass is greener, darker here is because of the compost I added in. Anyway, because of the dimples, I put compost in here and kind of scraped it to fill in the holes, and I got to do that every few months until it quits sinking in. Anyway, so let's keep walking down. So at this point, the water would flow, and you see my shop down there would actually just I'd have 1 inch of water in that shop building because all the water flowing down this hill that I'm walking on. So we did a lot of work here to redirect the water. I mean, it's been bermed all the way through here. And we got a berm, then it turned into a trench, which I call a diversion swale. And as we turn in, we're almost to the terrace for those waiting for it. Anyway, the water fills up, goes through this culvert, and then goes into my terrace. And Zach Weiss did this. He's got a YouTube channel called Water Stories. He's the I mean, he's probably the biggest, most well-known water retention guy in America. He does big projects. He was taught by Sepp Holzer, which, if you don't know his name, you ought to research it. Brilliant when it comes to water retention. Anyway, so we're in our terrace now. What Zach did was he actually formed this terrace. We had a natural kind of slope here, but when he was building the pond that you see on the top of the screen, I got to walk down here. He tapered this. He added all this dirt here, which has created this recessed terrace. So all the water from behind me is now shooting straight down and dumps into a sediment pond. And out of everything Zach did here, I fell in love with this. It's like, okay, we're gonna make a food forest out of that. And I spent a lot of money, as you can see. I mean, look at the fence I put around it. On the bottom, you know, I kind of made clothesline poles for grapes. And on the high side, I just kept a regular fence. But this was about 2019. And my goal is to have this thing like a Garden of Eden. If I can get, you know, plants all the way around this fence where it's a closed-in room, is kind of what my goal is. And I've had struggles. And I think last year I kind of figured out what the struggle was. Is I plant down there, you know, we're talking about water saturation and how long before you get that water plume effect. But when I come down here in the rain, what I observed was all this water coming through here was like 8-inch wide. And the drop he's got on this is 1 foot for every 50 feet it travels. So the water's moving real slow, but it never got wide. It's 8 inches wide, kind of traveling through here, even on a big rain. So I didn't think I was getting the soakage. So that's when I first built my first set of waffles, and they're kind of disappearing, but I think I can show it to you. I think I got 13 of them, but I took my tractor and I cut squares. And if you watched my last video, you probably saw it down by the pecan trees with me referring to waffles. So there's these big squares cut out, 13 of them. So when the water is just trickling down, it widens out and it has to fill out this waffle square, then overflow and go to the next one. So I'm retaining water that's actually soaking down. And my theory is it's going to hydrate everything down here. So maybe next year we start planting this fence line again. I mean, this is remnants where I had some deer getting in this fence, and I was trying to plant grapes and stuff, and I had to fence them off because of the deer. But I'd plant it, then the deer would eat it, and then the summer would come. And you know, the big thing for me is, you know, when you use the word permaculture, how do you permaculture your way out of 100 days of 100-degree weather without rain? And that's the big question we face here in Central Texas. Anyway, so all the smalls have historically been a fail, but last year we did this. I'm hoping we're going to really get that hydration effect, and maybe we can start some stuff down there. I did, I mean, tree wise though, the trees are doing good. We can start looking. I had some fails with pecans, and I tried grafting, and I think the grafting is failing. But this pecan is the rootstock. The top part died, and a new one came up from the root. And this is my graft, which hasn't taken off, and I'm assuming if it hasn't, it's not going to. I mean, I got the proper tape, read all the YouTube stuff. And then I've got another one over here we'll go take a look at. And when I counted it, I have got 28 trees in here, which is a pretty decent amount. Here we go. Different type of graft. Failing also, not taking off. I did have some side shoots come out from the main trunk, and I broke them off hoping it would send the energy to the top, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. So I've had some fails. But what I did this year, and it's kind of against my better judgment, I planted on the high side. So I planted a whole row of trees on the high side, and the problem with this is everything in this terrace is based on water coming through here, even if I got to put a hose in it. You know, I'm not a drip irrigation guy. I had this whole thing on drip, and you know, twice a year I try to mow it because it gets 2-3 foot tall Johnson grass in here, and all I'm doing is mowing over drip. So I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. It's a waste of plastic. Can't even believe I did it to begin with. But my solution is just to place a water hose in here and let it fill the canal. So rather than dripping every day or every 2 or 3 days, you know, let it run 10 hours overnight one time a month, you know, and that should water everything down there. So now I've got to figure out how to keep these trees alive. But I'm sure I'll do the same thing, just cut a little trench here through here to do it. The goal of getting something, the biggest goal I have is getting something to the top of the fence, and looks like honeysuckle is going to be it, and we'll get to it as we get further down. After the waffles, I did plant blackberries, which I'm considering a small. One of the things hard to get established, and my shadow is not very good, but I planted 2 varieties. I planted Arapaho, which actually succeeded. I mean, it was planted last year, so technically I could get some berries this year, but next year will probably be the big one. One of them did die, but it is sending up new stalks, which I'll show you right here. Anyway, so that's Arapaho. It's a thornless, real good. I mean, I've grown them for years up closer to my house where I can take care of them. Big berries, delicious. It's another, this pecan tree is still the original pecan tree. And the ones I just planted, I guess they're confused, so they haven't leafed out yet. Anyway, so the Arapahos did great. Then I planted triple thorn or something like that. They all died. They didn't make it at all. We're actually walking through the waffles here. I'm probably gonna end up putting wood mulch in these waffles like I did at the other area. But when I do mow, it's a lot. I mean, I'm mowing when it's tall, and I actually point the mower to blow into here. And when I need mulch, I can generally just come in here. Like the blackberries, I wanted to mulch them. I just come in here and pick it up. I end up with, like I said, I'm building my own mulch layer so I can grab it when I need it. Anyway, so the water's slowly going through here. I'm not stopping at a lot of the trees, but this is pretty interesting. When I talk about how the grass gets so tall and, you know, hard to keep things alive, well, I ended up planting a mulberry and a peach in the same hole or within a foot of each other. But I'm gonna let it be. Having a hard time with the mulberries with the spider mites. They'll come in here and eat every leaf off of it. This is another mulberry, but it's coming back from the roots. Yeah, it's pretty dry. This is an Asian pear that makes a pear that looks like a apple, and they've already gone through their bloom cycle. So this will be the first year. First year we might get some fruit on it. And then the smalls that did succeed for me was asparagus, which I've got planted everywhere. I plant asparagus every year. But that's one plant I can seem to plant and it just survives. I mean, some years when it's so dry, you don't even, I've had it where they don't even, they never came up in the springtime. They just waited till fall, probably October, November, September area to come up. But the point is they're surviving. And then goji berry is the other one that I just planted it and forgot about it. Didn't take care of it. And that's it right here. Anyway, they get abused, they get mowed down and stuff, and they're surviving. Another example where I was trying to grow some grapes and it failed. And we get into the end of it here. Sorry, this is a native persimmons, native to Texas. I guess it would be this one here. A friend of ours, Zach, was at their place doing some work, and they had a bunch of these, and they were doing a big terrace, and they had to dig some up, so they gave me some of them. And this other tree, whatever it is, came with it. It was just a bit, they dug it up with an excavator, a big old ball, so it came with some other stuff in it. In the corner down there, I've got vetiver, which is still brown, and then the green in front of it is some more asparagus. But what I wanted to show you is my first hope. The goal is having something get to the top of our fence line. This is honeysuckle, and look at that. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen this year. And I don't want to make this a monoculture, but like I said, the goal, and it may take me 10 years to do it, is to have this whole fence just covered. It could be Mustang grapes, honeysuckle, maybe passion fruit, maybe a little areas left for some annuals like a loofah or cucumbers or something. Coming down to this corner here. So you can see it's not like what I have in my garden, but you can see the asparagus, no maintenance at all, is doing fine. And that's my vetiver. Then I have a native right here that I don't mess with. That native, whatever it is, it gets as big as the vetiver. It becomes this big old plume, which is pretty cool. Now on the edges, I'm on the lowest part right here. We started on the high side. This corner is actually the lowest, and I wanted to not have erosion. So on the fence area here, on the outside, I put whatever I could. I lined it probably the first 100 yards. I probably got it lined with rocks, and then I had some cedar branches, so I put cedar in here. So I'm actually trying to, just keep in mind when this was first built, it was all just dirt. There was just excavators and skid steers running through here making this thing. It was just bare. Anyway, I knew I'd have erosion, so I put that perimeter over here to kind of catch it. And it also creates this very wet spot here. That's why I figured the asparagus would work, and the vetiver definitely will. And I also did that vetiver for the same reason, to catch the, if the water erosion is going to come through here, it's going to have to filter through that, and it'll catch it. And vetiver is kind of brilliant because it can be covered in, 4 inches of soil, and it's got these little nodes coming up, so it'll just send a new root out, and that'll be its new ground level. It's pretty brilliant like that. You could put it across a creek ravine, and it would actually filter out topsoil, start reversing the erosion in the creek bed. Pretty brilliant. All right, so let's turn around and look at where the water goes when it leaves. So this is comes out, it's got a culvert here. I put the culvert in because of the fence. Anyway, the water comes out here, ties into my rock overflow of my newest sediment pond. So it captures in there, goes into the main sediment pond, and then exits out of there into the main pond. Now, probably 2 videos ago, I showed this where I had just mulched it and seeded it. Anyway, if you can look here, I went ahead and put an electric fence. Hopefully you can see it going across the dam here. So I'll keep the cows out of this area, let the grass grow. And when I was out here, I just did this yesterday, so the cows had access. But when I was walking it, I saw soybeans all over the place that they were sprouting. So I am getting some sprouts. I think the seed mix is sunflower, millet, sorghum, and soybean is the primary mix. Anyway, I don't know, like I said, the soybeans, it had two true leaves on it, and the cows may have came and nipped them all. I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. I mean, someday we're gonna come out here and pick some fruit. I've had, like I said, I got the deer taken care of, but I still got a raccoon problem. They will literally climb up to the top of a peach tree to get to the peach, but the weight of them will break the branch. So they go up, grab the peach, break the branch, and go for a ride down. Because I'll come down here and see the evidence of it. I mean, really don't know what to do about it. But we've had decent moisture this year, and I think with that we got a whole bunch of raccoons. It's been a good year for them to breed.